When the girls were growing up, I was struggling. I really wasn't available to them because I was an active alcoholic. I was drinking nightly, probably 6 to 9 beers a night.
I had my first drink when I was probably like a toddler. My mom, she used to leave her beers just sitting around Sadie, and I would just like walk up and just start chugging them.
I thought I was a good mother. I really did. I was so caught up in the selfishness of alcoholism, I didn't know anything else. I feel responsible for not giving them a more secure childhood that caused them to have to make the decisions they do now.
That was Kristin admitting that she feels responsible for how her children have turned out because she was busy drinking when they were young. We're looking here at an ongoing legacy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you chose a bad path.
Yeah.
You just heard her say at 2 years old, she's picking up and chugging half-empty bottles.
I had no idea.
At 2 years old, you do know she was so stressed she was pulling her own hair out.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You do know at 5 she's trying to jump out of a window. You do know that this child
Yes.
has had extreme stress in her life because of the choices that you've made.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Kristin's other daughter, 20-year-old Sadie, also admits to using crack and heroin, even with her sister, Sara. Now, look, I'm no lawyer and I'm not in law enforcement, but I think when you recklessly endanger a child, that could well be criminal, and Sadie could well be an accomplice in that regard. We'll get to that later. Sadie says her boyfriend Keith has resorted to extreme control tactics to stop Sadie from using drugs. He padlocks her in the house, screws the window shut, and monitors her every move with a security camera.
By the time I turned 17 years old, I was a full-blown addict.
There was so much going on with Sara. When Sadie started using drugs, I couldn't see it.
My drug addiction progressed from pain pills to heroin to cocaine to crack. 6 months ago, I started dating Keith. When I moved into his home, I became pretty much a stay-at-home mom to his daughter. I would care for her when I was high on heroin. When I first met Keith, he didn't know about my drug use.
I started to notice money missing.
I took his debit card and I would take hundreds of dollars a week.
She had taken at least $1,000 out of my pocket while I was sleeping. I hold not only Sadie accountable, but her sister Sara as well. They'd go to the drug dealer, buy some crack or cocaine or some prescription drugs. This has made me totally lose trust in Sadie. I went out and bought padlocks so I could lock Sadie in my house. I went out and bought a safe to put my money in. I would lock the padlocks and I'd head to work. I put these precautions in place to make sure she wouldn't buy any more drugs.
I haven't touched any drugs in about 2 weeks.
Sadie last smoked crack last night.
She's sick. She's gonna die.
I've dug myself into a pretty big hole, and eventually I'm just gonna be buried alive and there's no way out.
No, it's quiet.
Now, you can whisper to me. I mean,
No.
y'all don't pay attention to this. This is between us.
I can just say
Okay.
I'm 100% willing to give custody to my mom until I made it together. If this can just be done. Like, I don't know. I'm trying, like, I'm sorry. I know I don't. Oh my God.
You understand.
It's so hard. Like, if anyone's ever been in this situation, you know how hard it is.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.